Everyone, it's your girl B Woods, Brandy Woods, the Millionaire Midwife, here with my lovely co-organizer, Natalie Woods LaFall. Um, we are so excited that you are here, whether you're watching this live or you're watching the replay. We want you to feel our energy and our love. So I want to take a moment and tell you a little bit about the Letters to Our Black Children's project and the movement thereof. So just like you, I've been watching the news and I've been sitting by and kind of seeing everything that's going on. And for us, we know that these things are not new. But I think it hit me and impacted me in a different way. One, because I'm at home, just like you, we're a little bit more tied to the TV. And we start seeing this video being replayed over and over of this young man from Houston getting his life taken, which seemed to be, to me, in a very unnecessary manner. And we hear him crying that he can't breathe and crying for his mother. And all I could think of is that I'm a mother of 6 children, and that at any day, in any point in time, this could be my child. And I also begin to think that many people will do many work during this time, just like our parents in a civil rights movement, and our great grandparents during the abolitionist movement, and our great great grandparents who didn't celebrate Juneteenth but were a part of Juneteenth. And I begin to think about, what could we do now to make an impact change, and who could we impact, have the most change with? And I just began to think about the children and literally cry for our children, to think that they still have to live in a world with such injustice, still live in a world where opportunities are not the same for every child. Um, Education is not the same in every school district, let alone in every classroom. What could we do to let our children know that we care for them, that this is not the end of their story? So I began to think about writing letters to my children, and then I say, no, it can't just be my children. We need to write letters to all children, uplifting them, encouraging them, letting them know that there is hope and there is possibility for them. And the idea was born, Letters to Our Black Children. So Natalie, you can kind of take it from here.
All right, we can go to the next slide. So I think the beautiful part about Letters to Our Black Children, and Brandy and I coming together as sisters, you'll see here, like, sisters on a mission to change the world. Like, we thought about, we've really been blessed to be first generation college graduates, to be entrepreneurs, educators. Brandy taught in the public school system for many years and then became an administrator before opening her own 2 successful daycare centers. And then, I, by just natural, I'm a marketing person, a writer, I'm a best-selling author. We both have books. We both do a lot of business development coaching. And so we had access to this pool of people who had a story to tell, number one. But if you're asking yourself, why do this project with us? Well, we've been here before. We know about the publishing world. We know about how to market, how to push a product. And this is so much more than just a book. It truly is a movement. But I think that even in partnering with something, you want to partner with people who are knowledgeable and connected. And so we're very proud to be working together, but we're even prouder to be working with you.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to toot Nat's horn just for a second, because I'm loving the work that she's doing in diversity. She works at the corporate level for a very large organization in Houston that reaches literally hundreds of thousands of people every year. And just the fact that she has become the sounding board for so many corporations of how to handle diversity, that I feel like it's just such a remarkable work. And each of us in our own way, we control the climate in our world, whether that's in our office, in our church, in our community. Maybe it's just with you and your children or you and your spouse, but we have like a responsibility, not just to reach back, but to give a hand up, right? And some of us, we have success stories of us making it in such a way. Like, yes, I am a first generation graduate, blessed to have 2 degrees, blessed to own a home, but that's not the story of every Black family in America. As a matter of fact, there is a child right now wondering, like, what does my future hold for me? What is the example of greatness that looks like me? Who's going to stand up for me and say, this is wrong? Who's going to stand up for me and say that I'm worthy of a chance too? And I don't feel comfortable sitting in the cush of my 69-degree house, right? With my beautiful, healthy children and do nothing. Because the truth of the matter is, every situation that happens in our world, literally, we're just literally one occasion, one moment from something happening to our own Black children. What really hit home for me, you guys, is the day that this happened. My husband and I, we were talking, and then something else happened with the young man in Atlanta, and I believe he was laid to rest today, and he was actually shot in the back, running away. So he was clearly not a threat, right? My husband looked at my son and he said, "Listen, son, if anything happens, don't be a hero. I just need you to get home. If you get home, we can handle everything else." For that to be the concern of every parent in the world, not stand up for yourself anymore, not speak out for what is right. But a lot of us are just telling our kids, baby, just get home. We can help you fight. We just want you alive, right? And that is such a sad existence when we're supposed to be living in a world of equality. So, what is Letters to Our Black Children? Letters to Our Black Children is an opportunity for us to use our collective voice as mothers, fathers, teachers, ministers, productive people in the community, and say, listen, baby, there is a way. You are supported and you are loved, because they're told every day that they're feared, that they're inferior, that they're not going to be anything, that they don't come from anything, that they're less than powerful. So we need someone to help us reverse the script and say something different to empower our children. You're muted, Nat.
Thank you. You can go to the next slide. So that's exactly what Letters to Our Black Children is. It is an opportunity for you to lift your voice, and for you to be able to help to invoke that change. And the thing is, for those who are on the call, those, like you said, who may be watching this later, we want all sorts of stories. We want stories of, overcoming, whether you've been to jail, you've been to prison, you grew up without a mom, without a dad, or maybe it wasn't a humdrum story. Maybe it is the story of how a supportive family helped you, or education, lack of education. You could have been a stripper, you could have been a drug dealer, whatever your journey was. If you have something to offer children, because everybody's journey is different. So to put together this, really pretty, happily ever after thing, not really realistic for our kids. I think they need to hear real stories and have real inspiration, but then go a step further, Brent, if you go to the next screen, and really provide them with tools and action. So if we have to break it down, we want to inspire them, we want to encourage them, but we also want to instruct them. It's one thing to get worked up, but the thing is, what do I do? What are the steps that I can take to secure my future? Equip them with that information, educate them, motivate them, empower them, uplift them, sometimes heal them. Like a lot of our young people, and we'll talk a little bit about the demographic, but this is for kids of all ages, some young adult, some smaller kids, but heal them. So many of them are just hurting. But the ultimate goal of this book is to create change. It is to be a catalyst for change, for conversation, that parents can sit and read these letters with their children, or their children can read them on their own, and that we could see literal change come from the book.
Absolutely. And so we know that there have been a lot of conversations started, and some of those conversations has been put to action, and some people are on the front lines protesting, and some people are angry and they're rioting. And I don't condone burning of businesses, but I understand that when people feel powerless, they will do anything to be heard. And I don't know if you've ever felt that way, whether it was in a relationship, on a job, when you don't feel heard or you don't feel validated, there's a sense of hurt. Sometimes inadequacy that will set in because you don't feel validated and heard. And that's the worst thing that can happen to a child who is full of hope, a child who is full of future, that they're not heard, validated, and loved. So not only are we hoping for a book to come out of this, but even the proceeds of the book will be put to good use in helping our Black children. We don't just want to talk about it, we definitely want to be about it and connect with programs, people, organizations that are on purpose and for purpose connecting with Black children, right? And so I hear, some people like, all lives matter, not just Black lives matter. Well, you wouldn't have to say Black lives matter if there was a sense of total equality and justice. And we do understand that every human life deserves love, support, and respect. But in the same breath, we know that love, support, and respect is not equally given to the African American community. So what do you do? Do you sit and be silent, or do you move in the way that you are comfortable moving? So this is a very strong, different sense of activism for me. Is to say, one, we want to produce something that we can put in the universe that will live forever. Two, we want the proceeds of that to begin to encourage, inspire, instruct, equip, educate, motivate, empower, uplift, heal, and change our community. You're muted.
I keep giving you the stage. So the question is, if not you, then who? And I think the reason that you're on this Zoom tonight, or you're watching this, is because you're already considering being a part of this project, and this being something that resonates with you. Because a lot of times we're waiting on the next person to do something, but tonight we invite you to be a part of what we're basically calling the village, right, Brandy? Right. It used to be a time we say it takes a village, right? And we got away from that. Everybody helped raise everybody's kids, everybody chastised, but we got away. But if we could reactivate the village through Letters to Our Black Children, I really believe that we can have a stronger Black child, right?
Absolutely. So we do want you to be a part of the village. So we're going to tell you how you can become a part of the village and join the movement, Letters to Our Black Children. And we are not excluding anyone who wants to be a part of the process, who is committed to doing their part. We want all different kind of stories, male stories from young, old, different, multi-generational, multi-socioeconomic background. We want every vantage point of the Black experience to be highlighted in Letters to Our Black Children.
We've also had people who are not Black who have come to us and ask us, can they write? And we're very open to that. Simply because I think sometimes a different perspective is also good. And so, this project, Brandy and I have talked, I think there'll be many volumes to this. I think there'll be many layers to this, but how groundbreaking would it be to be a part of the very first step that we take to building this village and making a change?
Absolutely. And we definitely want you to be in this first movement. And it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. So we're asking that people will submit their interest to the project by June 26th, if you are committed to being in the project. The author's contribution for the project is due by July 1st, but it is on a first come, first served basis for this first anthology. And Natalie is pushing me to do many installments because she just feels like there are many voices that need to be heard and not just once. I'm gonna get there with her. I want to start doing the work. What'd you say, Natalie?
I said we're gonna do it. We're good.
We're good. But we definitely want then the submittal of the first group of letters by July 15th. And they don't have to be perfect letters. We're actually going to help you craft and walk you through that journey. So this is kind of the steps to join the village in this project. Matt, tell us about
Brandy,
the timeline.
I will, but go back out because I want to talk about the $300 Author contribution and kind of what it covers and what you get. So under the $300 Author contribution, like Brandy said, some of us are, immaculate writers. We're great. Others of us, we're not. The thing is, just get your letter out. And so that $300 covers us having some sessions with the authors where we're going to actually kind of teach you how to format your story, if that's something, or your letter, I should say, if that's something that you need help with. It'll include the proofreading, the content editing. When we get ready to promote the book, we will design social media banners for your Facebook, your Instagram that you could help promote. And so it covers all of the administrative costs behind producing this. Brandy, nor I, nor even the scholarships profit from the $300. I mean, if any of you have ever been involved in an anthology before, the cheapest I think I've seen is like $5, but most of the time it's anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 to participate in projects like this. This was not at all. This was, and we're going to tell you how you can, make a profit from it. But the goal of this was not to profit. It really was to create change. So just wanted to say that. And the letters are only about 1,000 words. Simply because we want to hold the attention span of our audience. If it's teenagers, if it's young adults, I see it as something that you could pick it up every day, for 30 days or so and read a letter, and not something that you have to be sitting down for 4 or 5 hours on a weekend, although it's probably going to be that good that you would. Yeah. So, I just wanted to kind of go through that.
Yeah, and I do want to include that it will include all of the portals, you being featured on the website. So in the actual agreement that you will see on the interest letter, it tells you everything that's included, and it's like 10 things, and everything, like Natalie mentioned, is at cost. So I appreciate you for highlighting that. I'm like so passionate on the project, and normally like I'm the numbers person, I'm the money person, but for some reason, like I just wanted to make it so doable for people, because even on our first interest meeting, and if you're watching the replay, this is our second interest meeting, people were like, that's it? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, I paid this much for the last anthology. And we were like, the goal is to get the work done so the real work can begin. And so thank you for clarifying that, Natalie. Do you mind still going over the timeline?
No, I gotcha. Just
okay, let me go to the next slide.
Thank you. Hey, and if you have questions, make sure you're writing them down. You can also place them in the chat, but we're going to unmute everyone at the end, and we're going to do a quick Q&A session. Blah. But if you have any questions now, feel free to, actually, you can type them in the chat area, or if you use your reactions button, if you're on a laptop or a tablet, and just post a reaction, we'll know that you want to have something to say. So the timeline for Letters to Our Black Children is somewhat tight, but the timeline has purpose. So June 1st through the 16th, which is the time that we're in now, this is our call for interest, our call for submissions. On June 17th, we'll have a welcome meeting for confirmed authors. And by confirmed authors, that means that you have submitted your interest form, and you have paid the $300 contribution fee. Go ahead.
So that's June, and we already did this first round. So for those of you who are on here now, we will do the same kind of confirmation for you next week, and we are projecting that to be on next Tuesday. And I believe the date for that is the 30th, right before the 1st. So you haven't missed that.
I'm just saying that we need to adjust this timeline, right? So June 30th, we'll do that. But so we also will probably push this back to June 30th as far as the bio and the picture. But just to touch a little bit on the interest form and the payment. So the purpose of the interest form is to let us know, obviously, that you're interested. But 2, you're going to give us like the top 3 topics that you would want to write about, because one of the things about the book is we don't want, even though everybody's journey and story is different, we don't want, three stories about going to prison, right? And so we want to make sure that we vary it up. If you pay, you and let's just say we're going to work with you, but if there's total duplication, if anything happens, you will get your money back. This is not, we're not trying to run game or anything like that, but we do need you to pay, because until you pay, your spot is not secured. So submit your interest form, submit your money if you're interested. On July 15th, the letters are due. The 15th through the July 15th through August 15th, we will be editing your book, and that consists of content edits and proofreading. So we will edit it. It'll probably come back to you to make some changes, and then it'll come back to us again for final viewing. Then August 15th, we will have the website up, and we'll have a landing page to announce the release. And then we will do a virtual book launch from August 31st through September 10th. And this is basically where we will launch this book through social media and online and all sorts of virtual platforms. Like, we're going to have a party, y'all, from August 31st to September 10th, where we're going to sell as many of these books as we can with your help. And this is, we'll talk more about this if you become an author, but this is where we'll host a series of Zooms, and you'll have all your banners up, and we'll all be posting simultaneously. And we'll have people who are not even in the book who have agreed to be social media ambassadors to really push this. I'm actually looking for a celebrity to do the foreword on this book, which I don't think is going to be really hard, but we want to engage some celebrities in this project. Then on September 11th, and Brandy talked about this last time, 911 has a heartbreaking history, but for us, we want to always remember that day, but on that day also release something that will commemorate a new beginning for a lot of our Black children, and a new beginning for this project that we hope to have a really, really long life. So we're only looking for about 25 to 30 authors in this first volume. She's laughing. The reason that is important is, again, I don't know how many, I'm an author, so I understand it. I don't know how many of you have ever been involved in an anthology. These letters are short, so it could be a little longer, but we don't want to pack the book to where the people who are in it don't get the exposure, the time. The book doesn't have the life that it deserves. When you put 50 people in an anthology, to me, it's just unfair to the process, which is why I'm saying we're going to have several volumes. But we're only looking for 24 to 30. And I can tell you many of those slots are already filled. But we're doing this second call tonight because we have a few more slots that are open. And we're hoping that those of you on the call will join us.
Absolutely. So 911 is definitely a state of emergency. I mean, we are calling, and during this time when we're editing and we're getting ready for the virtual lunch, we're also going to be looking for organizations to gift books to. We're going to be looking for sponsors to buy books for Black children. We're going to be literally doing our part to make this as successful as possible, because the mom who can buy the book is totally different from the mom who can't, who needs the same information. And not just the mom, because I think our fathers get a bad rap. I mean, I know my brother is a great father. Shouts out to my husband. Me and my dad did a Father's Day Zoom just talking about fatherhood. So we don't want to leave the men out. We want the men represented. So we're hoping that we even have more men on the first project, or this may be letters from our mothers, but we want some fathers too. So we're calling the men because we know that our Black boys are hurting, and I feel like they need to hear from you just as much as they need to hear from the women. So let me give you some skinny on the highlights of the terms and the conditions. Now, these are not all the terms and conditions, but when you go to the interest letter, you'll see a more complete draft of the terms and conditions. And then you will also get a full draft that you will sign and submit to us before we finish publishing. So PHU Publishing will own the rights to the completed work and the stories. Someone has to have a license to put the work out in the world. And so PHU Publishing will own that right. During the virtual book launch, number 2, 50% of all book profits will go to scholarships and programs that benefit Black children. And in the group, you guys will help us select those programs, scholarships, and the remaining 50% will go to the affiliate author. So each of you will receive an affiliate link, your own link that will track your sales, how many times people click that link, and 50% of those proceeds will go to you doing that virtual book launch. Now, the third thing is you will also be able to buy books at wholesale at any time after the virtual launch, and you can sell those for a profit. And if you decide to give a portion of that away, it's totally up to you. But you will be able to buy it at wholesale and resell it at the retail rate. We also just want to clarify that authors will not be compensated for their work. So we're not paying anyone to write in the book, even the celebrity that will do the forward. They will be doing it out of the kindness of their heart. And hopefully they'll be also willing to donate some books. I'm like, put your money where your mouth is. Number 4, I already talked about this. Each of you will be given your own affiliate link to track sales. And then you will also receive an official agreement, and it talks about you getting free copies and all of those things as being a part of the project. Make sure that you read the draft of the terms and conditions when you fill out the interest form, and that's where you'll tell us the hot topics that you are thinking that you want to concentrate your letter on. Did I cover everything on that?
Good job. Good job. So our question to you tonight is, are you ready to join the village? And we really hope that you are. And even if you're listening to this and you're saying, man, Jesse would be great for this project, we want you to share this information with Jesse or Jane or everybody. We want you to share that with them, because we are truly, truly ready to move forward. As you can see, the timeline is moving very quickly. So if you're interested, when you hang up to get off of this Zoom tonight, we want you to go fill out that interest form and, make that $300 investment and get yourself signed up. Okay.
Absolutely. And right now we're a little over 60% committed. But we do want everyone who wants to be in the first project in the first project. So we decided to hold the second interest meeting because it's different when you can ask questions, and we're about to open up the floor for questions. But I see someone said, my dad would be great for this project. Absolutely. It's not too late to let someone know, hey, this is the project for you. And some of us, I know I did, I had a dream of being a published author. Like, I was like, man, I really want to write a book. Being a part of an anthology, like, you will always be a part of this Fry family. Like, you will find that many of us will end up connecting on different levels. So if you know someone that you think is great to be a part of this family, please recommend them, because we definitely want to make sure that everyone who has a powerful voice is heard during this process. So there are only 2 things that you need to do at this point, and we're going to open it up to questions. 1, your spot is held by your payment, as Natalie mentioned. And 2, we have to have you fill out that form so we can know what you want to write on. And then between now and July 1st, everyone that fills out that form and pay will receive a call from us, kind of clarifying what they want to write on. We already have a Facebook group for the authors that is ready to go. We already have a Facebook page. We already have some sponsors that's going to help us spread the word on social media platforms. So now we just need you. So, would you like to join the village? And what we would like to do at this time, if you are like, absolutely, I'm all in, we would like for you to type a number 1 below. If you're like, I have a lot of questions, I would love to do it, but I need to know more, type number 2 below. And if you're like, this is not for me, but I would like to support it in some way, if you'll type number 3 below. And that way we'll know how to reach out to you.
Right. And while you're typing those numbers, Tyra has already posed a question, which is a really good question that we mentioned earlier, but that we didn't answer. And then, Brandy, if you unmute everyone's mics while I'm answering this, we can start our open question and answer. So Tyra is asking, what is the age range we are looking to write to? So the good thing about this is that it is up to you. We're going to determine that by your letter. Of course, we know that, toddlers and small kids like that, parents would have to read to. I don't think that's it, but I think any school age child from, 5 and up, there's a place for it. And we'll figure out how to divvy that up in the publishing of the book, or how to address that. It may be that it's your name and then we say that, or we may not need to, but we don't really want to leave any age group out, and so it can be, elementary school children, adolescent children, high school, young adults. I mean, we're all somebody's child. If we look at George Floyd, he called for his mom, but this man was in his 40s. And so it is about children. I don't want to, say that it's for 40-year-old people, but at the same time, we have, 30-year-old men who's in women who still are dealing with, 18 and 19-year-old issues. And so I think that as much as your letter can transcend ages, it would be great. But if it is for a specific, like Brandy said last week, your letter could be to a 7-year-old girl, because whatever happened to you that changed your view of the world, it could have happened when you were 7. It could have happened when you were 12, and so we're very open to that. I don't want to tie people's hands, because we want the letters to be so authentic, that I don't want to box you in. I think organically your letter, the audience for your letter will come without even trying.
Absolutely. And I know we said 5 and up, but hey, I would love to see a letter to our unborn Black children saying, listen, you're coming into this world and I want you to know a few things, right?
Yeah.
So we want
so
your
smart.
heart.
You so smart, sister. You so smart.
Thank you, boo. We want your heart, and everybody has a different background. I know my mom was a foster parent for many years, and we had so many children come in and out of our home. And I think that's why. I think that's why me and my sister are so passionate about some things, is because we've always had an inclusive family. Our family was a family to anyone who needed a family. And so when I think about like some families not having that, or not having a grandparent, or just the voids that some children have, you can fill that void. You may have the voice of the grandfather. You may have the voice of the big brother. I may have the voice of the mother. She may have the voice of the auntie. But all of those voices shape our Black children. And all of those voices are valuable, and we want them included.
Right. So we're going to open up the lines. We're going to be quiet. We're talking a lot. We're going to open up the lines for question and answers. If you have a question, Brandy, will you just unmute everyone's mics?
They can actually unmute themselves. If you have a question, you can unmute.
Or even if you just want to share like your thoughts about the project. We'd love to hear from you tonight. Not all at one time.
and Natalie,
there is somebody.
I just want to thank you ladies for putting this out there, because we all see what's going on. We're all impacted, and to be very honest, not quite sure how to help and if the help is going to make a difference. So I appreciate those that have answered this need and provided an avenue and a platform for the rest of us to support. And I think it's also important that if there are people that aren't willing or not able to write, that they're able to find a way to financially support you guys, because this is certainly something that should go down in history as a positive for us working together. So thank you.
Amen. And that's awesome. I mean, we've had people say, hey, I want to sponsor. Like I said, if they didn't have the money, they said, hey, I want to work. I know I don't want to put the cart before the horse and give away all the goodies, but we see a conference for young people. We see, speakers, coming on to encourage. Like, we see this as a movement. So there is, whether it's a donation, but even more than that, your time, your experience is so valuable. So we are looking for people to partner with us, even if they are not able to write or don't choose to write. There are other ways to be a part of the project, and we'll explore that more in the coming weeks.
Absolutely. And as God gives us revelation of what this can become, because, you know, I was blessed to go to HBCU. That's where I found a lot of my Blackness. We had a great time. But man, we were so confused about some things. So I could just see us sending boxes to kids in college who not necessarily at an HBCU, but who may be having their first college experience and no one told them those ways to walk. You know, I can see us, you know, sending elementary kids, you know, children's books. I really see this as a work to continue, but I see the book being the basis for the support of that work. And so, like Natalie says, it may be volumes or multiple projects, but we want this first project to be packed with so much love, so much power, so much authenticity, so much truth, where you just have to respect it. You know, I love my Nigerian community because they always say respect yourself, which basically say don't get beside yourself. You know, and we're living in a world right now where we need people to respect our community, and we start that by respecting ourselves. And there's no greater way to respect ourselves than to take care of our children.
That's right. All right. Any more questions before we end or comments? Yes, I hear somebody. That's it. All right.
So we want to thank each and every one of you. We won't call you by name. And if you're watching the replay and you need to reach out to myself or Natalie, you can reach us at the email powerhousesunited@gmail.com. Powerhouses with an S, united with a D @gmail.com. We also have a page on Facebook, Letters to Our Black Children. It's actually a business page. We ask that you go and like that page. All of the updates for the project will be there. Thank you, Natalie, for putting that in the chat. All of it will be there. And for those of you, which is most of you on the call tonight, said, hey, I'm definitely in the project. We would like to welcome you to the village. It definitely takes a village to raise our children. So if there are no other questions, we are going to release you to your family. We appreciate you so much, and we thank you for your time. Natalie, you have any closing remarks?
No, just welcome to the village. Hope to hear and see from everyone soon. Have a good night. If you cook, send me a plate. I'm hungry. But no, bye. Bye.
And the links in there. bit.ly, letters interest form, and bit.ly, letters author payment. That's the way that you can join in, and it's on our Facebook page as well. Y'all have a great night.
Good night, everyone. God bless you.